Yes, complaining on the mountain can lead to conflict in the valley. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. My name is Chris Bailey. This is part number 4 of a 5-part series. We're looking at the second best option, understanding what happened back in the book of Joshua to see what's going on right now. We're in a battle, the great controversy. God is a fighter, and we learned he's not just a fighter. He is willing and able to fight for us. And because of this, we got to remember one of the big enemies that can keep us from trusting and letting God deliver us. It's our complaining. It's our looking at truth without hope, and sometimes even getting deluded or discouraged with what we think is, and it's not even what's going on in the first place. That's the power of complaining. Complaining is a powerful drug to where it can lead us to thinking things that aren't true, or even seeing things as they aren't actually. That power, that drunkenness from complaining is exactly what happened to Israel. They got drunk on themselves, where it says in Exodus 17, he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" That just kind of sealed up or encapsulates their complaint. And I know we can be going through some struggles and have some real genuine challenges, and we are asking ourselves, man, does God even see? And much less, does he even see? Does he even care about what I'm going through? This is where they got to. Now remember, all of this is Exodus 17. This is all after Exodus 4 and 5 and 6 and 8 and 10, all of the deliverances, the plagues, all that. And even they were tempted of the enemy to think, I don't think God's with me. Now, why is that important to recognize? But why do we need to pray for deliverance from it? It says in Exodus 17, verse 8, then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. They asked this question, this complaining inquiry, man, is God with us? Well, they were about to find out, because they were about to be assaulted and attacked by the enemies of God. To help them to see just how close he was, sometimes God has to step back. To help us understand just how real he is, he helps us to see what life is like without him, without the reality of his presence. That's when the children of Amalek attacked. And that complaining on the mountain, so to speak, leads them to this valley of conflict. And it leads them to this warfare. And it leads them to this place of struggle. I want us to pray. We're praying not just for deliverance from our enemies that we see, but we're now, remember, fighting this battle in the spirit. We're asking for God to deliver us even from the enemies of our mind. This mindset of complaint, truth without hope, reality without redemption. It says in verse number 9, Moses says to Joshua, right after they attack, choose us out men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand. This is a beautiful story. I'm not going to go through all of chapter 17 to see how this battle gets fought and won, but it's interesting that they're complaining. They slide into this valley of conflict, and Moses calls on Joshua to now, God's going to lead us out of this valley, but I got to stand on a mountain. God is asking us if we will, join him on the mountain. That doesn't mean Moses going on the mountain doesn't change the reality of the situation, but his perspective is changed. And he now says, I'm going to stand on the mountain and intercede while God takes care of business through his people. Now, not just for his people. He said, clearly you all are so bored. Y'all have nothing else better to do than complain about the goodness of God. I'm going to let you see how good I am and let times get bad. And so now they go from complaining to where they got to mount up, suit up, and go into battle. Be careful, because you never know the value and the beauty of an ordinary humdrum day until you lose your job. It's these kinds of things that shake our faith, and hopefully it doesn't shake our faith to be shaken from God, but it shakes us up to settle in,